live editing session for my Thai Cobb video. I'll share my screen here and see who's around on a Friday afternoon. Hey, what's up, Mike? Yes. Hey, Scott. How about you go live as you edit website photos? And seriously, like if you want to come in and edit your website photos while I edit this, we could just edit in silence. I think that's really engaging, engaging live stream content. Is this a type 1? This is a type 2. Great shot of Cobb. Smaller cup of coffee. What's up, Reese? ND Card Ranger. Detroit must have gone baseball mad. Yeah, you know what? It's my summer break, and I finally have time to work on this video. So I figured, why not go live and slow down my progress by distracting myself and looking to see who's in the chat and chatting with you all. I would say I'm like 50% through this video, maybe. This is the last part of the video here. I picked out 3 different parts of this book, Busting 'Em and Other Big League Stories, which was technically not written by Ty Cobb. He had a ghostwriter, but it's legit. It's not that same terrible experience that he had with Al Stump. And this part is where he talks about that infamous moment where he attacked that player, not that player, that fan in the stands. But it's told from his perspective. So this is the part I've like picked out most of the photographs that I think I want to use. It can change, and I've recorded the voiceover, but I haven't really edited it yet. So that's where I am. What are you guys up to on a Friday?
The crowd makes the ball game. How much pep?
Yeah, I think I'm going to get out of this. It's been a lot of fun trying to find all these photographs, and sometimes I can't find the right thing, so I find something that's good enough, but in the back of my mind, I'm hoping that I'll come across something better eventually. Let's see.
crowd makes the ball game? How much pepper? How, how,
You're going to Fenway, Dom? That's awesome. I've never been to Fenway.
how much pepper? How much enthusiasm? And how much baseball do you suppose a player would show if games were played to empty seats?
Yeah, maybe I'll start down here and come up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Part of the fun is figuring out the movement of the photographs.
How much pepper? How much enthusiasm? And how much baseball do you suppose a player would?
No, I don't like that. Don't like that.
How much pepper? How much pepper? How much enthusiasm? And how much baseball do you suppose a player would show if games were played to empty seats?
I guess that's all right.
If games were played to empty seats. Do you suppose a player would show if games were played to empty seats?
And then we got Mr. Ty Cobb. Funway's a fun spot. The bars are fun. Hey, Lou, what's up? You're working and watching this, but mostly watching. Let's make sure your employer doesn't know. Yeah, Mike, I already recorded the audio. And I record it in a way where I kind of take the pressure off because it's my audio is just like everybody else's, filled with mistakes and problems and mess ups, and I just cut all that out. And then it's just a matter of kind of lining up the audio to happen when I want it to with the picture. And Don is here and he's bored at work. I love this. On a Friday afternoon, everybody's bored at work. So you guys can watch me work, but this is not really work. Lou, I use, for this stuff, I use what's called DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is free to download, and it works on Macs or PCs. Reese's brain is fried. It's a Friday afternoon, right?
Many big leaguers claim that the crowd and its rooting has no effect on them. That is not generally true. I know it has a big effect on me, but I like the opposition from the crowd. It makes me work harder.
Okay.
It makes me work harder.
I really like this shot of Cobb. Part of the fun of this has been trying to find pictures of Ty Cobb that I have not seen before. And at least for me, I've seen a lot of stuff that I've not seen before just by putting this video together. So I hope for other people, there's going to be lots of stuff that perhaps you're not used to seeing. There's definitely like famous photographs that we've all seen a million times that are great that are in this, but there's a lot of stuff that's maybe more obscure.
Many big leaguers claim that the crowd and many big leaguers claim that the crowd and its roots.
Nope.
Many big leaguers claim that the crowd and its rooting has no effect on them. That is not generally true. I know it has a big effect on me, but I like the opposition from the crowd. It makes me work harder.
Okay. What's up, Orlando? Good afternoon to you. I just got a fresh delivery of coffee. So for anybody that's just jumped in, this is Cobb talking about this incident with this fan and in the stands in New York, which is one of the more infamous Ty Cobb stories. But I thought this was interesting because this is from his perspective, at least a couple years after it happened. But because it's from his perspective, he doesn't like give all the context. So I'm kind of playing with the idea of putting in some text to explain it a little bit in case, I think most people know that story, but just in case anybody doesn't. And text can be kind of lame, but I don't really know a better way to do it. So maybe I'm going to leave this how it is right now, but I might put some pictures on it underneath so it's not just black and white. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, I appreciate it, Orlando. Yeah, if you're not, if I didn't, I wonder how much, what am I trying to say? I wonder how many more videos I would make than I do right now if I didn't approach it this way. I would probably make 2 or 3 times as many. And I used to make a lot more videos than I do now, but I decided to challenge myself to take a different approach, and there's some trade-off to it, which is 1, they take longer. 2, not many people are necessarily sticking with my channel as a result, and maybe it hurts my channel. I don't know. But I decided, you know what? It's not that I don't care. I do care, but I decided I wanted to be challenged more than I cared about worrying about numbers and all that kind of stuff that YouTube makes you worry about. So for me, it's fun. And yeah, it requires some patience, but the thing is that I enjoy it. So I think if you enjoy it, you don't really mind the time as much. But it can definitely be a slog.
Many stories have gone out about the row I got in. Many,
So here's a screw up. I'll so you can hear this.
many stories have gone out about the row I got in.
And it just stopped. So I'm going to cut that out, obviously. So here's, unless I screwed up
Many
again.
stories have gone out about the row I got into with the fan in New York.
No, that's all right. So I like recorded all of this in one, like, I don't know, 10-minute session, just got it all out. And then it just sits in here until I get to it and try to clean it up.
This same fellow had been bothering me on previous trips, and I was forced to previous trips. And I was first me on previous trips, and I was forced to work hard to hold in my temper.
What's kind of great about his is kind of a confession in a way. I mean, he definitely in regards to this incident, he definitely puts a lot of blame on the fan and how the fan riled him up and how some of his teammates kind of riled him up too. But he does admit that he has a really bad temper and that when he was younger, his temper was even worse and that it used to get him in a lot of trouble and that he made an effort to control his temper as he got older. But in this case, it got away from him and he regrets it. He regrets what happens, which I think is an example of humanizing the guy. You know, like he wasn't a saint. He was a bit of an asshole, but he was also a human being, and you know, he wasn't proud of what he did to this guy. So it's been kind of interesting reading about it because I've read, you know, and I'm sure all you guys know about this book, Ty Cobb, A Terrible Beauty. This is a great book. Well researched, but this one is cool because you're actually hearing a lot of, you know, directly from Cobb himself. Can you blur out the video so there are no spoilers? No, Max, if you clicked on the live stream, it's your own fault, man. Yeah, quality versus quantity. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we all care about our videos and we all want them to be good to some degree. But yeah, I decided to like really, I just enjoy thinking about and then putting the videos together, and that sort of takes a little bit more time. Yes, yeah, you can hear me, but I'm not speaking, right, Max? Ross, I'm not sure you're going to get much out of it, but I'm glad you're here, and it's fun to be hanging out with you. Enjoying your channel, man. I'm really just doing this to have you guys here hanging out. Makes it more fun when I'm putting this together.
Many stories have gone out about the row I got into with the fan in New York. This same fellow had been bothering me on previous trips, and I was forced to work hard to hold in my temper. I had put his abuse to my temper.
Let's see.
On the day in question,
Yeah, this is going to be here. Max says, I went in the opposite direction. I used to put a bunch of work into my old videos. I think I was one of the first people to do overlays and all of that. It didn't really connect with people at the time as much as off-the-cuff videos, so I just stopped. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've always dealt with is that, just generally speaking, I don't think the types of videos that I make are immediately accepted, because the nature of YouTube when it comes to the card collecting community is that um, it's more like a journal, or like a video journal, or like a blog, or like a vlog, I guess, which is much more off the cuff and personal, and like, here's what's going on in my hobby, and here's what I'm collecting, and here's what's going on right now, which is not these videos. And so um, that's been an uphill climb for me, which is like, should I even do a video like this? Does anybody even want a video like this? And I've debated that a lot. But what I've decided, I guess, is that I want to try to approach videos this way, because I enjoy it, and I enjoy making them, and I enjoy trying to get these thoughts out. And I'm hoping that there are people out there that would be interested in seeing a video like this in this style. I don't know that that's necessarily the case, but I'm willing to take the chance. But yeah, it's a risk, right? Because you can put, like, the difference between turning on your camera, showing some cards, and being done with it versus this is huge. And, I could put all this effort into this video and not necessarily get the numbers, so to speak. But my solace, I guess, is that the creative aspect of it is so rewarding that it doesn't really bother me.
Many stories have gone out about the row I got into with the fan in New York. This same fellow had been bothering me on previous trips. And I was forced to work hard to hold in my temper. I had put his abuse down to the ordinary ravings of a fan who likes to believe he is tormenting a ball player.
All right, so I don't know what picture is going to go there, but I'm just going to keep moving. Here's a great photograph I found of Hilltop Park in New York, where the Highlanders were playing at the time. And of course, the Highlanders would become the Yankees. So this is where this incident with this player occurred. What's up, Fine Card Collector? I'm using DaVinci Resolve. That's always the question, right? I'm using DaVinci Resolve, but honestly, I don't really think it matters what software you use. I'm not really doing anything in here that can't be done in other editing software. It's pretty straightforward. Kind of cut and dry for me. So whatever, like, if you want to edit, if you want to, and sometimes editing is just like, it doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be photographs and voiceover. It might just be editing your own clips of yourself talking, or showing cards, or like making an intro or whatever. You can do that in any editing software. I like this one just because I'm used to it, and it's free. That's nice. And it's pretty versatile. There's a lot of stuff you can do in here, but I really don't even use most of what's in this software to do these videos. Appreciate it, Dime. It's funny because I think a lot of you guys know I am a film person, and I teach film, but you would think my hobby would be an escape from that, but actually my hobby has become, in part, doing film work, right? Or at least editing. But the thing is, I love it. Like it's a job, yeah, but I really love it. Like, it's fun for me. It's part of the hobby. It's become kind of something I look forward to. Like I really sincerely look forward to sitting here and like looking at all these images and playing with them and figuring out the story. It's genuinely fun. What's up? Let's see sports cards. Max, I appreciate it. And I'm very, if you're still in here, Max, I feel terrible about what PSA did to your autograph. I don't understand it. I know you don't understand it. I think it's like terrible and despicable and embarrassing from a business perspective, from a mission statement perspective, that something like that could even happen. I just don't understand that. I think I made a comment on your Instagram or somewhere where it's like, did they let a 10-year-old handle the encapsulation of that? Because I just can't understand how anybody would think that that was acceptable. Anyway, my thoughts are with you, man. And, not to get dramatic, but seriously, like that's really shitty. And I hope there's a solution to it. You use iMovie. Hey, iMovie's great. Like, for me, it's like, if you're comfortable with it and you can do what you want to do, that's great. Like learning a new software can be sometimes a bit of an uphill climb. It can be frustrating. I know, because that's what I do for a living, is I teach people software. And it can be frustrating at first, but if you put in that time, maybe it's a few days, maybe it's a few weeks, maybe it's a few YouTube tutorials and kind of trial and error, within a few weeks' time, you can't even remember how frustrated you were. And then you have this whole new way of doing your thing. For sure, Max. Okay, now where was I? Okay, so this is Hilltop.
I had put his abuse down.
Oh, I'm not putting that photograph there. I'm putting it here.
On the day in question, though, he singled me out and shouted remarks at me from the bleachers where he sat each time I passed the stand on the way to the bench.
So right now, I'm just kind of trying to roughly figure out the timing. Like the voiceover is already kind of in order, even though it's messy. I'm cleaning it up. I tried to drop the pictures in the order that I think I might use them, but that will change. So I'm just trying to make a first pass. But then what's going to happen is I'll watch it again and I'll realize this is too slow, this is too fast, and I'll have to kind of clean it up.
On the day in question, though, he singled me out and shouted remarks at me from the bleachers where he sat each time I passed the stand on the way to the bench.
All right, so that's good. And I guess I'll add, I don't want to like constantly add movement to every picture, although I'm kind of tempted to do that a lot. I guess I'll add a little bit here.
On the day in question, though, he singled me out and shouted remarks at me from the bleachers where he sat each time I passed the stand on the way to the bench. My temper began to go, though I did my best to control it. To the bench.
So that's going to end there. And I don't know what's going to happen in here. We'll figure that out later. Can't figure everything out at once. As a side note, they have a vintage Czech slab that is 3 inches longer that they just chose not to use. And I'm just going to think, like, you got to think about this like a business. It's like maybe that person who was doing it that day didn't have knowledge of that. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just saying, like, what are those sort of like stupid logistical reasons why something like that could happen? That particular person didn't know about that, didn't bother to ask, didn't have reference to some sort of a comprehensive system like protocol, and just decided, you know what, I'm just going to fold it and stick it in this one because it seems like this is the only size we have, and I'm not going to ask anybody, and I'm not going to like take ownership of this situation and maybe delay grading this for a day or two until I get confirmation as to what's the best way to handle it. They just said, whatever, and stuck it in there. Like, that's just me guessing, but that's kind of what it seems like, which is just like, when you're dealing with something like that, you know, a relic, an antique that has value, it's just inexcusable. Cutting, like, because that's essentially what it was to me. It's like somebody tried to cut a corner without stopping to ask, what's the right way to handle this? High school was iMovie, college was Premiere, and you were using DaVinci, and now you use Final Cut. Yeah. So I didn't like, I learned Final Cut on my own in college. I used Premiere. I learned DaVinci, and I teach Avid Media Composer, so I can use any of them just because this is what I've been doing for years, and I have my preferences, but I kind of have to know how to use them because it's part of my livelihood. Mike's saying it's not that they didn't choose, they just ran out, and they didn't care. They didn't give a fuck the way they put out Show to the way it looks. PSA has a quality control person that should be checking out everything slab before it gets out. Yeah, well, that's on top of it. It's like, not only did it happen, but it happened and it still left the building. You know, which is to say, yeah, we're cool with this. We're going to send this out. Yeah, I just don't understand. You know, I'm going to make a stupid analogy, but I think it holds weight. Like, if you were dealing with a priceless work of art, like let's say you were one of these big auction houses like Christie's or Sotheby's, or like one of these big companies you guys know that like handle massive auctions for paintings and like priceless works of art, you know that their entire reputation and the reason people are willing to do business with them is the idea that they are taking extra care to handle this kind of stuff in a way that not only respects the piece, but that gives the person who's spending money on this some assurance that this is going to be handled in a way that is reputable and respectful and maintains and preserves that piece through the entire process. And if somebody like folded a Picasso painting just to be ridiculous, like, you know, or like smudged, you know, the autograph on an Ernest Hemingway novel or whatever, like why would anybody do business with that place again? Like it would mean the integrity of that business is now questionable. I mean, you know, no business is perfect and people can make mistakes, but I mean, that's, to me, that's just like, that's not a minor issue. That's a massive, massive problem. So this is editing and PSA, PSA slab chatter.
My temper began to go, though I did my best to control it. Did you hear what he said? Asked Sam Crawford.
So this is where Cobb starts to sort of say that he was being like a little bit, he's kind of he's kind of insinuating that like his teammates were egging him on to do something about it.
My temper began to go, though I did my best to control it.
I found this photograph. This photograph's really cool. Like, it's not the greatest quality. I'll make it a little bigger so you guys can see it. This photograph of the guys on the bench. This is actually, at least so far as I can tell, this is a photograph of the game where the Tigers hired replacement players to fill in for Cobb and the players that went on strike after Cobb was suspended for the incident that I'm covering in this video. So technically this is like not the right photograph to show because this is going to happen after. But I was looking for a photograph of Detroit Tigers in the dugout for this part where the players are talking to Cobb about like, hey, you should do something about this heckler. And I found a couple that were okay, but I kept coming back to this one, and I thought, you know what, like, even though technically these are replacement players, you can't really tell. And I just kind of like that even though it's the wrong photograph, it's still related to this incident, at least after it. And I love this photograph. I'm not sure, I can't remember where this photograph is from, like what game or what stadium, but this is still in that era where the fans are let on the field and the players are having to deal with the fans in a much more up close and personal way. And so I felt like this is a good photograph that shows that when you have the player all by himself and all these fans nearby, and there's really nothing separating them. There's no wall. There's no separation.
Past the stand on the way to the bench, where he sat. He singled me out and shouted remarks at me from the bleachers where he sat. Each time I bleachers where he sat.
I think I'm going to start this here. Did you, Dom? I'll have to check that out. The replacements game covered in the anniversary of your podcast last year. Great. I'll have to check that out, and I'll post it. I'll make a note for myself to post it in the description of this video once it's done. Thank you, Dom. Hey, Beans Ball Card blog. You know, there's still time. You can still do it, man. I think honestly, there's a lot of room on YouTube and elsewhere for, I don't know, people are baseball fans, people are fans of history, people are fans of cards. To me, there's like a lot of room to explore putting stuff like this together. I have fun doing it. I think, you know, people have fun watching it.
He sat. Each time I passed the stand on the way to the bench, my temper began to go, though I did my best to control it. Did you?
All right, let's see.
Where he sat. Each time I passed bleachers where he sat.
I'm going to separate this a little bit.
All behind said, asked Sam Crawford. We're all behind you, asked Sam Crawford.
What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm having trouble multitasking here.
Bleachers where he sat. Each time I passed the stand on the way to the bench. Bleachers where he sat.
I can't do that. That doesn't make sense.
Pat me from the bleachers where he sat each time. Singled me out and shouted remarks at me from the bleachers. Shouted remarks at me. From the bleachers where he sat each time I passed the stand on the way to the bench. My temper began to go.
Technically, these are not bleachers, but I don't care. It's more about the feeling.
And on the way to the bench, my temper began to go, though I did my best to control it. Did you?
Yeah, not gonna.
My temper began to go, though I did my best to control it. Did you hear? My temper began to go, though I did my best to control it. Did you hear what he said? Asked Sam Crawford. Asked Sam Crawford. We're all behind you if you go after him, said my teammates from the bench. On the way to the bench, my temper began to go, though I did my best to control it. Did you hear what he said? Asked Sam Crawford. We're all behind you if you go after him. To control it. Did you hear what he said? Asked Sam Crawford. We're all behind you if you go after him, said my teammates from the bench. My temper began to go, though I did my best to control it. Did you hear what he said? Asked Sam Crawford. We're all behind you if you go after him, said my teammates from the bench.
Yeah, appreciate it, Dom. Don't have editing software, and I'm also sure it's different from what I was in school 25 years ago. Well, it's probably a little bit different, but honestly, not that much. Editing is editing. You got to cut shots. You got to put in sound. It's really not that different. And the good thing is, compared to 25 years ago, there's a lot of really good software that's free. I mean, this this software that I'm using right now is free. And yeah, you may not know it. It may take a few YouTube tutorials to kind of catch up with it, but if you put in a little bit of time, you can do it. Hey, Big Six, am I doing the 1912 incident? No, this is just a small part. This is towards the end of the video. This video, there's like 3 separate parts of Cobb. And then there's like a completely separate part of this video that's about his E95 caramel card. The first part of the Cobb video, or the Cobb part of the story, is about his childhood, all told from his perspective. He talks about growing up in Royston. He talks about playing baseball, not realizing that he was going to pursue it as a profession. He talks about the relationship that he had with his father and how his father was not cool with it, but eventually came around to it. So the first section is about that, and that part's mostly built. The second part is like some of Cobb's insights on playing the game, like being in the batter's box and how to approach different pitchers, and base running techniques, and deking out opposing players, and just how so much of baseball is about brains, not just ability. And he tells this really great story that I decided to try to reconstruct about how he once caused Hal Chase to make a throwing error, and he was able to score on it. So it's not just this incident. The incident is going to be towards the end of the video. So I've been focusing on those 3 sections, and this one that I'm working on right now is the last of those 3 sections, and then the other half of this is going to be about his E95 card. So there's a lot going on, which is why it's taking a while, but it's been fun. What's up, Mook? The Quantel edit box. I have never heard of that. In fact, I'm going to look it up just to make sure that you're not making it up, Mookie. The Quantel, because I just never know if I can trust a message from Mookie in a chat. Oh, it's a... If this is the same company, looks like they're from England. I think it is, yeah. Yeah, and looks like the edit box came out in 1993. That's dating you, Mookie. That's pretty early on. I mean, digital editing really kind of started in the mid to late 90s. Or no, sorry, the mid to late 80s. But was not really available for most folks. It was a British company, yes. Very poor support from the UK, right? Well, I mean, to be fair, if it's like the early 90s and something breaks, how do I fix it? It's like, we don't know. We just invented it. Like, we don't know how to fix this stuff yet. Now it's a lot easier to sort of troubleshoot problems, but I would imagine at that time, it was so new that nobody knew what the hell they were doing. I don't know that Mookie speaks the truth. It's funny because there's Mookie the person, and then there's Mookie the chat comment, and I feel like those are 2 different things. Like when I met Mookie in person, like, oh, Mookie, he's a really nice guy, and But Mookie in a chat, you got to be on your toes. Okay. You had 3 months of 1912 newspaper. It had the 1912 Cobb incident and the Titanic sinking. That's crazy. I'm glad, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because I wonder if I could find a newspaper headline. I'm sure I could. To include in this, because I don't have one as of now, and I don't necessarily need one, but it would be cool. So now I'm going on. Now I'm going online and looking. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Well, I'll have to see if I can find some good scans of that. Appreciate it. The Beaumont Express, cool.
Did my best to control it. Did you hear what he said? Asked Sam Crawford. We're all behind.
This is a great shot. This is actually a card of Cobb. It's a 1907 postcard. Detroit Seamless Steel Tubes Company. Tyrus Cobb of Royston, Georgia. Member of the Detroit baseball team and the greatest ball player of the year in America. Just like the look of his face here looks a little bit like he's trying to intimidate the viewer. It's a good shot.
Come to the bench when my
So I'm screwing up here.
bench when my
Let's see.
I purposefully did not come to the did not come to the bench when my club went to bat for the next inning, since I had been up in the previous inning. I hung around the outfield the previous inning.
I'm not sure that that's where I'm going to use that photograph, though. There's another fun part. Where after the incident, when he returns to New York, he gets before he returns to New York, he gets a letter from a friend warning him that he may be attacked by friends of the heckler who he beat up. And Cobb talks about taking precautions, meaning, like, I'm going to guess, getting authorities involved, maybe even bodyguards. But he tells a quick story about being in the subway in New York and feeling like somebody was following him, but then chalking it up to his own imagination. And so for me, that was like an excuse to use a photograph from the City Hall subway. And anybody that knows anything about New York, I'm sure you know about this. It's like one of my favorite things about New York is that this still exists, one of the original subway stations built in the early 1900s, which is not technically in use anymore because the curve of the station is too extreme for the current subway cars. But I forget which train it is. If you sit on it, when it has to sort of turn, when it reaches the end of the line and has to turn around to face the other direction, it will use this same track to do it. So you can sit on the train even after, like, the last station has been met. And this is the old City Hall station. And sit on the train, and as it's turning around, you actually get to go in the City Hall platform and then come back out of it. And they don't let you go. They don't open the doors. You can't go out. But I did that once. I sat on the train and waited and went in there, and it's like going back in time. So amazing. I think they also give tours every now and then, like where you can actually literally go down into it and walk around inside. But it's so beautiful, and it it really puts the rest of the state of the subway to shame, just in terms of how how it's laid out and just how beautiful it is. But it's an excuse to put it in here. Well, let's see. So I got to finish this one out. This section is the one that's the most tricky because this incident is hard to visualize, to find pictures to use for. So I'm having to kind of, I don't know, I'm having to experiment a little bit, but it's fun. It's just taking a little bit longer. These other two sections went together pretty quickly. And then here's the intro, which was a lot of fun to cut together. And here's the E95. This will be the other part of the video. So working on it. I don't know how much longer it's going to take. Definitely a few more days, if not more. But having fun doing it. I'm probably going to sign off, guys, and continue working on it. But thanks for hopping in. Thanks for chatting. Was fun to be distracted a little bit and chat with you guys. So I'll see you guys on Sunday night. For those of you that will hop into Card Room Live, we have a great guest lined up. Card collector, vintage card collector, focuses particularly on Negro League players and players that ended up playing in the majors but started in the Negro Leagues. He's got a great collection. He has a great Instagram account. not a YouTuber, but a great collector. So it should be fun to see his stuff and talk with him about his approach and see some of his cards and take a look at his Instagram account. So see you guys on Sunday night. Take care.